What do a beloved Disney character and a haunting horror figure have in common? Meet Daveigh Chase.
I'm Garrett, feeling pretty chill today and excited to dive into this topic.
And I'm Leah, equally excited to explore such a fascinating career. Today we're uncovering the life and career of Daveigh Chase.
Back in the day, I remember watching The Ring and being genuinely spooked by Samara. It's wild to think the same actress voiced Lilo in Lilo and Stitch, heartwarming buddy story on one hand, nightmare TV crawl on the other. That contrast kind of blew my mind.
Daveigh Elizabeth Chase Schwalier, who went professionally by Daveigh Chase, was an American actress and voice actor born in 1990 in Las Vegas. She grew up largely in Oregon, adopted her mom's maiden name, Chase, after her parents' divorce, and built a career that touched both family animation and intense live-action drama.
Her range is the headline. She voiced Lilo Pelikai in Disney's Lilo and Stitch, and she played Samara Morgan in The Ring. Voice acting, by the way, is performing a character's voice for animation or games. It's acting with your voice instead of your whole body. Then in The Ring, she had to do heavy prosthetics, which are special makeup pieces, and super controlled movement. Totally different muscles, same kid actor.
To add to that, in 2001, she voiced Chihiro in the English dub of Spirited Away, the fantasy film by Hayao Miyazaki, who's a legendary Japanese animator and director at Studio Ghibli. Then with Lilo the next year, she worked alongside Chris Sanders, the film's co-director, who also voiced Stitch. She even branched into prestige TV with Big Love on HBO, where she played Rhonda Vollmer, a manipulative teen in a fundamentalist polygamist compound. A polygamist compound is a closed community where plural marriage is practiced under strict rules.
She didn't just show up out of nowhere either. She started vocal and dance training at age 3, did pageants and talent shows, and reportedly booked national ads like Campbell's Soup by around 7. Early TV guest spots in the late 90s gave her reps a reason to push for bigger roles, and yeah, it all caught fire right around 2001 and 2002.
Her journey to stardom really turned on an accident. In 1998, her mom was in a serious car crash during a family trip to Los Angeles, and doctors said no driving for months. That stranded them in LA, which meant auditions became suddenly possible. Her mom homeschooled her to keep school on track while they tried out for roles. What a twist, right?
Yeah, that unexpected detour kind of paved the road. She got representation from an agent, which is the person who finds you auditions, and those early commercials helped. The homeschool setup let them ride the wave of last-minute calls. It's one of those chance meets prepared moments where training meets location at just the right time.
Before the screen work really ramped up, she did regional theater, like the Tuacahn Amphitheater musical Utah, sharing the role of Norma Sanderson. Live theater is a boot camp. It builds stamina and teaches timing, which later helped her in voice booths where precision matters more than people realize.
From there, small TV roles started landing. She showed up on Sabrina the Teenage Witch in 1998, then episodes of Charmed, The Practice, and ER around 2000. For context, those were big mainstream network shows. Getting called into those rooms is a sign casting directors trust you to hit your marks.
In 2001, she played Samantha Darko in Donnie Darko, which starred Jake Gyllenhaal, a future Oscar nominee, and was written and directed by Richard Kelly, the creator of that cult classic. The film underperformed at first, but later blew up with fans. Her part helped humanize the family side of that dark, twisty story.
That same year, the film she worked on went on to win the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature. Even though the Oscar recognizes the movie, her performance helped U.S. audiences connect with it emotionally in English.
Then came 2002 and Lilo and Stitch, which grossed around $273 million worldwide. She kept voicing Lilo in direct-to-video follow-ups and the Disney Channel series. The Annie Award she later won is basically the animation industry's top trophy, like the Emmys for animation.
Alongside that, she stayed active in TV and film. She did The Rats, Family Law, and even Beethoven's Fifth on home video. She also co-starred in the sitcom Oliver Beanie from 2003 to 2004. Being a series regular means lots of reps building a character week to week.
She also took on other animation like Fillmore and later headlined the educational PBS show Betsy's Kindergarten Adventures. It's interesting to see how she could pivot from spooky live action to educational children's TV and back again without missing a beat.
And through all those early days, she split life between Oregon and LA, with her mom Kathy coordinating homeschooling and on-set tutors. There were half-siblings in the picture too, like her younger half-brother Cade, so it was a blended, mobile family setup, supporting a very non-traditional childhood path.
From 2001 to 2002, that breakout stretch was wild. She voiced Chihiro in Spirited Away, moved straight into Lilo in Lilo and Stitch, and then embodied Samara in The Ring. Chihiro is the timid but brave girl trying to survive a surreal spirit world, while Lilo is a funny, lonely Hawaiian kid with a huge heart. Then Samara is the chilling ghost child. Range on display, for real.
Exactly. The awards reflect it. She won the 2003 Annie for Lilo and the 2003 MTV Movie Award for Best Villain for The Ring when she was about 12 or 13. She edged out heavy hitters like Daniel Day-Lewis and Willem Dafoe. Both are acclaimed adult actors with serious pedigrees. That's pretty cool, right?
Samara's look became iconic, waterlogged hair over the face, that stilted movement, and the TV crawl. But that took real physical work. Prosthetic makeup is hot and heavy, and those controlled, unnatural motions are exhausting. She wasn't just standing there being scary, she was crafting a physical character.
When The Ring 2 came around in 2005, they used archival footage of her. Archival footage just means previously recorded material reused in a new project. New on-screen and motion capture Samara work was performed by Kelly Stables, a stunt and voice actor known for physical roles. That kept the continuity of the character look while moving production forward.
Meanwhile, Lilo kept humming. She voiced the character through the Disney Channel series from 2003 to 2006 and wrapped it with Leroy and Stitch. Sustaining a kid's voice performance for years is harder than it sounds. Voices change with age, and energy has to stay bright and natural.
She also anchored Oliver Bean for 2 seasons, then hopped into primetime procedurals like CSI and Cold Case. A procedural is a case of the week show, so actors have to nail a believable story arc within 1 episode. That's a different challenge than serialized character growth.
Her biggest long-form dramatic turn was Rhonda Vollmer on Big Love from 2006 to 2011. Bill Paxton, a veteran film star, led the series, and Harry Dean Stanton, another screen legend, anchored the compound world. Rhonda was manipulative and unsettling, and it showed Chase could disturb audiences without supernatural help.
In 2009, she returned as Samantha in S. Darko, a sequel to Donnie Darko. Richard Kelly, the original creator, publicly disowned the sequel, and critics really panned it. It's kind of a textbook case of how hard it is to bottle the lightning of a cult classic without the original vision holder steering.
She kept balancing lighter work too, like the PBS series Betsy's Kindergarten Adventures, while still dropping into thrillers and dramas. That duality never really left her. Even as an adult, she could pivot between audiences.
By the mid-2010s, she leaned into indie projects like Yellow and Little Red Wagon, then went further into thrillers with Killer Crush in 2015. It looked like a smart recalibration towards smaller, character-driven stories.
Her final acting year was 2016. She co-starred in American Romance, appeared in Jack Goes Home, and voiced a character in the video game Let It Die, which is a stylized, over-the-top action game. After that, the credits just stop.
She withdrew from public life and social media after 2016. People inferred retirement, but there was no formal announcement. So it's more like a de facto retirement. It happened in practice without an official statement.
Then came some troubled headlines. In February 2017, she was questioned by LAPD after dropping an unresponsive man at a hospital. He later died of a suspected overdose. In late 2017, she was arrested while riding in a vehicle reported stolen. And in 2018, she was arrested again for drug possession and later charged with 2 misdemeanors. The public record we have doesn't list final case outcomes.
Reports suggest she struggled with addiction and periods of homelessness in the late 2010s, including time on Skid Row, which is a downtown LA area known for a large unhoused population. The exact timeline is fuzzy, though. We don't have a clean, verified sequence of where she was and when.
In June 2026, she was hospitalized at Los Angeles General Medical Center for severe malnutrition. Malnutrition is when the body isn't getting enough nutrients to function properly. It can weaken the immune system and lead to a cascade of health problems.
While hospitalized, doctors diagnosed meningitis, which is inflammation around the brain and spinal cord, and multiple bloodstream infections. Those infections can spin up fast. The prognosis was described as poor.
She died in June 2026 at age 35 from septic shock and organ failure caused by those infections. Septic shock is when an overwhelming infection causes blood pressure to crash and organs to fail. It's a medical emergency that can be very hard to reverse once it's that advanced.
The following day, her boyfriend, Roy Hernandez, announced her death via TMZ. He also said bloodstream infections led to complications. Hours before she died, he launched a GoFundMe, which is an online crowdfunding platform to help with medical and stability costs. Some claims on that page, like alleged bullying or family estrangement, weren't independently verified.
Tributes poured in, and most people remembered the contrast. Lilo's warmth and Samara's terror, side by side in early 2000s pop culture. That pairing says so much about her talent and the way audiences hold on to striking roles. One unresolved question is the extent of her struggles with addiction and homelessness. Reports mention it, even Skid Row, but the specifics are thin. So why is the timeline so hard to pin down?
Part of it is documentation. Unless someone's life intersects with public records or consistent media coverage, long stretches are private by default. With her, we have flashes, arrests, a hospitalization, but not a continuous narrative. So mapping a day-by-day or month-by-month path would be speculation.
Totally. And I think the pressure cooker of child stardom can be a factor. When structured schedules and support around a kid actor disappear, that gap can be tough. Without judging, it's fair to ask how the transition into adulthood was supported. We just don't have the full picture.
Yeah, and the GoFundMe statements add color but not verification. Crowdfunding pages reflect one perspective. They're not the same as court or medical records. I'm down for that context, but I want to keep our footing on what's confirmed versus what's asserted.
Agreed, and we also don't know the legal case outcomes from 2017 and 2018. Without dispositions, we're left with charges and arrests, which are not end-of-story facts. That uncertainty makes it easy to overreach. Better to admit what we don't know.
Right. The clearest through line is that after 2016, the work stopped, public appearances went quiet, and by 2026, health issues were severe. Everything else in between feels like a patchwork. This one's got some depth to it, and I don't want to flatten it into an oversimplified story.
Real talk, the unanswered parts are human, not just headline fodder. The right takeaway for me is compassion. Even with limited details, it's clear she faced instability, and that complicates how we view a public figure we first met as a child performer.
Holding space for both truths, the stunning early artistry and the later vulnerability, feels like the honest way to remember her. That's the gist of it, right there. In pop culture terms, Samara and Lilo are still everywhere. Samara's image shows up in parodies and homages, and Spirited Away's Oscar helped more people appreciate English dubs as real performances. Lilo and Stitch remains a go-to comfort watch for a lot of folks who grew up in that era.
And Big Love gave her a long runway for a complicated antagonist, so her legacy sits at a fascinating intersection. Anime imports, Disney catalog, prestige cable, and a defining horror image of the 2000s. That mix is rare. What if the car accident in 1998 never happened and the family never got stuck in Los Angeles? Would she still have found her way into acting, or would music have taken the lead?
She might have stayed rooted in Oregon and chased country music. She had that early vocal training and even won a national vocal competition as a kid. Maybe more regional theater, like Tawakan was for her, then a path into Nashville rather than Hollywood. I could get behind that idea. It fits her early profile.
Another twist. What if The Ring had cast someone else as Samara? Without that horror icon stamp, her public image might have centered on endearing voice roles, like Lilo and Chihiro. That would have nudged casting directors to think of her as the warm, empathetic type rather than eerie or unsettling.
Totally. Without Samara, she might have stacked more family animation and educational shows, maybe even more Disney or a Pixar lane. The industry often follows what pops first. In our timeline, Samara popped loud, so darker roles like Rhonda Vollmer made sense later.
Yet, even in the what-ifs, that early training, the work ethic, and the spark are there. Whether on a Nashville stage or in a Disney booth, I can see her finding a spotlight. Some people just have that pull. Stay curious.
Keep exploring those rabbit holes. Until next time.